Yeah, I'm trying to get a hold of Hiroki. Who's calling? It's Chris from Nerd Night. You know, the YouTube thing. No, that's Diggs. He has a beard. No, I don't have a beard. Come on, that's Palladia. I said Chris. No, I didn't say Palladia had a beard. Listen, can you just tell him that I called and that I have a bone to pick with him? What's up guys, Chris here, and in this video we're going to be talking about Halloween Frederika, and you might notice that I don't have my Frederika's Dream Vision card back up here behind me. And funny story, a couple of weeks ago, before we knew there would be a Halloween Frederika, I kinda took it upon myself to make my own Halloween Frederika. And then of course, Hiroki and Gumi come in and they just shoot my whole plan to hell. But you know what? I don't care. Here it is. My alternate version of Halloween Frederika. I ordered this a few weeks ago before we knew we were getting that. And that's right, she's a witch. We've got some fireballs here, some pumpkins down here in the corner. I even put some jack-o'-lantern butterflies up here, and it's a real shame because I kind of liked this version. Anyway, guys, enough with that exposition. I guess we'll talk about Gumi's version for this video. If you liked the video, carve out a thumbs up and subscribe by hitting that red button below. Happy Halloween, everyone. Real quick, let's talk about Amazon coins. This week features the War of the Visions Halloween Clash event hosted by the Amazon App Store. And yeah, that's a mouthful, but you guys are probably already familiar with what's going on here if you've checked out Dr. Diggs or Oran J's channels, but we're gonna go ahead and recap it real quick. Oran J and Dr. Diggs, they're squaring off in a PvP competition this week. And because of this, Amazon decided, hey, let's give the people some kind of special deal on Visual. So this week through the 31st, there's a $10 credit when players purchase certain Visual packs in game using Amazon coins. You can use the link down below in the description to get Amazon coins and help support this channel. We'll talk about this more in this video, but I really do think Halloween Frederika is a solid investment for a lot of newer players. So if you're short on Visual, you can check out that Amazon coins link. I know I have to because, come on, y'all know Nerd Night needs its Frederika. All right, let's get into it. Okay, so let's dive right in. You guys might know a little bit about her kit already, but we're gonna go ahead and take a look over the basics right here. She's an Earth / attacker. She's an evasion unit. A lot of people comparing her to Elena, but kind of like an Earth version. She has that Fencer main job. This is a new job. It's kind of like a mixed hybrid between like kind of damage and sort of defensive support. It's kind of a mess, to be honest, with the abilities. You have that Dragoon sub job, so a lot of people talking about how she can pair with the upcoming Oberon with a Earth Pierce combination. Then she has that Ninja for some extra agility and mobility in combat. You can see down there friends with benefits. The obvious combination is UR Zazan or Global Zazan with Frederika, since they're both evasion units, they're both slash units. And then Kitone. I think Kitone's a lot more of an accessible pair to put with Frederika. I would consider Kitone and Frederika Halloween to be the Earth sisters, kind of how 2B and Tifa are the Wind sisters. I'd see Kitone being kind of a stronger pairing than UR Zazan. And it's not that UR Zazan's a bad unit. Clearly he's not a bad unit, but I think Kitone is a much more accessible unit for most players, and she does get a lot of use in super high level PvP because of her Drain Force builds, so she can be a little more tanky, which is actually something that Halloween Frederika kind of needs. Some of those other units that I mentioned here, you have Oberon, you have an upcoming of Noctis, also she can pair decently with, but I actually put Luelle on there, and that's because in these PvP teams, you always want to have at least one source of magic damage somewhere in there, or different types of damage. You don't want to just stack all slash damage, maybe might not be as effective. I think she can also be really good with the MR Mont, 120 Mont. Very easy unit to get. All new players should be getting a 120 Mont. He's basically free in terms of Visual to get to 120. So I think Frederika Halloween, she's actually really versatile. I think her top speed maybe won't be quite what we want. So really experienced players maybe won't be like chasing her to try and pair her in top level PvP, but I think you can get a lot of use out of her. Newer players, because you can pair her with Mont, you can pair her with Kitone, you can actually pair her with a couple other units, which we'll look at one of those compositions in this video. So I think she's very versatile. I think she'll be really good for PvE also. content creators, YouTubers, we all have this tendency, pretty much everybody has this tendency to rank units based on only their PvP performance. I think she'll actually be very, very effective in PvE because of both her damage. Evasion units can actually break a lot of PvE challenges, and then also because... Sorry, my lights just went out. Anyway, we're just gonna carry on, play through. Look at the vision cards here. I have the Titan, the new vision card, that monster's vision card. You have Secrets of the Heart. That's gonna be how you build up the evasion here for your earth units. I also put, I think it's called Solitary Lion on there. That vision card increases earth attack. It's just a great general earth card. Secrets of the Heart and Titan are really the kickers though to use Halloween Frederika. So the recap, consider for strong earth. I think most experienced players, you won't get a whole lot of like PvP run or maybe PvE run, but I think newer players can actually get a lot of run out of Halloween Frederika. Let's look at the first build. This is going to be your standard build. A lot of people talking about just pairing Freddy Halloween with Kitone. You are Zazan. You can see the vision cards there that we mentioned before. A lot of luck, a lot of agility, a lot of evasion. So you're just stacking evasion. This is full evasion. The problem with this team is you have pretty much all slash damage. Kitone pretty good with Drain Force, so she can actually break down tanks that way. But a lot of slash damage, and you could, I know a lot of people are gonna be saying you should have the Titan vision card on Freddy because of the pierce damage. It's only 10 pierce attack, and you may not even be using the pierce anyway. You could kind of interchange these vision cards around somewhere in this team. Same thing with the Espers. You have the higher evasion Espers. Tetra Sylphid actually not very good for these earth evasion units. I mean, you could run it, but what is this? The Chimera, I think it is, that gives you that high evasion. Odin, always a great card, and actually have Golem on Kitone there. I don't know if that's good or not. I don't have a ton of experience with Kitone, but I do know that you want her to have a lot of HP, a lot of tankiness, and sit there and just use Drain Force over and over again in high level PvP. Anyway, this is basically your standard team, but a lot of people don't have this UR Zazan, so it's going to be useful to look at teams that don't use UR Zazan. Just for future reference, we're looking at 3 other teams. You could replace Kitone in any of these teams with UR Zazan for sure, but because he's not that accessible of a unit, not a ton of people have him. I'm just going to go ahead and leave him on only this team. The next team I want to look at is basically replacing UR Zazan with Luel. All this does is really add a little bit of magic damage to the team. Luel's a fantastic unit. She's a super underrated unit as well, so you can get a lot of run out of this. I say this is a free-to-play team because Kitone and Luel, both non-limited units, both fairly easy to farm as well. So very accessible to free-to-play here. If you're like a newer player, you'll probably have to replace one or more of these characters with Mont to pair with Freddy, and that's perfectly fine. MR Mont can act as a solid tank. Okay, moving on to the next team. I call this the Bodyguard, and the reason I put Gilgamesh in here, and you might think this is kind of like an odd pairing here, but there's a couple of reasons why I like Gilgamesh to pair with Frederika and Kitone. Number one is that evasion units, one of the things you really got to watch out for is Holy. That's like the number one thing. Magic damage, Holy. Freddy pretty good against magic attack. She has spirit buffs. She has some magic resist. But that means you still have to watch out for Yuna. Gilgamesh is a fantastic unit to counter Yuna. He takes that re-race off of his Kotetsu. He's also a fairly tanky unit, so he can actually sit in the front line. You run him with this Fenrir Esper, he gets the attack bonus for it. He's also going to pass down that magic resist you see here on the right, magic resist 20, to the other 2 units. In addition, the units that you really have to watch out for if you're playing these units in PvP, if you're playing Halloween Frederika in PvP, is going to be wind units. Tifa, 2B, Corwell actually will spell a little bit of problems for this team because of his high accuracy. Gilgamesh absolutely shreds wind teams. He can basically 3v1 a lot of wind teams if you give him a little bit of accuracy so that he can hit 2B and Tifa. He has no problems. So high level Gilgamesh, I call this the Bodyguard because one thing this allows you to do is in guild battles, for example, if you're just showing Halloween Frederika, people might see that, attack you with wind teams, not realizing you have a Gilgamesh hiding behind who is going to shred their team. So Gilgamesh is super underrated. A lot of people don't really talk about him, but this is kind of one of those strategies, this team, where you run 2 of a single element and then you run 1 counter element to sort of protect your main investments. I've been trying this out in guild battles by running Cloud on my main team, and then I run Cloud and Frederika, and then I run like either Tifa or 2B in that 3rd slot. So when people run Earth teams up against you, they get surprised by one of those counter units. Anyway, guys, that's a real quick breakdown. Hopefully you can put together one of these teams. If you don't have any of these units built up, again, MR Mont for brand new players, even if you're starting this week and you're like re-rolling for Halloween Frederika, MR Mont, build him up as quickly as you can and pair him with her. You'll have a pretty decent team. Even for guild battles, you'll be able to compete. And if you're re-rolling this week, I think maybe going for Freddy and then on your 99 ticket, your free 99, going for Ketone, or maybe re-rolling until you get Ketone. That would be a great pairing to go for as well. We will catch up with you guys here. I will definitely be putting my polls up for Halloween Frederika. I will 100% be going for her. My Earth team is terrible, which we'll cover in that video, in the poll video before I get into it. Thanks for joining us for this video, guys, and we will catch you on the other side of the maintenance. Thanks for watching.